there, it's Ashley. I am here to do the last holiday manicure of the year. So I am in my Christmas pajamas with my Santa hat cactuses, because why not? And we are going to be doing a cactus tree manicure. Christmas tree manicure. Yeah, that's it. We're going to be doing a Christmas tree manicure. So let's get to it. So this is called the Christmas Tree Manicure. There's also the original artist named Danielle did this based on the Starbucks cup, holiday cup this year. This can be done in a bunch of different ways, and I'm just going to kind of show you what I'm doing. So supplies. I think I'm using a 1/8 inch circle punch. You can use just like a regular hole punch if you have lying around. The hole punch might be a little big, but depending on the length of your nails, it might be fine. I have a little bit shorter nails than I usually do, so I'm going to use a smaller punch. I'm using the Scott Topic as my base. I am using Beijing Beauty, but I'm going to layer it over Swiss and Tell because Beijing Beauty is a little bit sheer, so I want it to really pop, and it's not going to pop up against that green background, so I'm going to layer it over the white. I'm going to use Oslo and Steady, and I think I'm also going to layer it over the Swiss and Tell. I don't really know if that's going to make a difference. I have Clear as Day, and she used Retired Wonderment, which is the color I have on this hand here. But since it's retired, I wanted to give you a different option. I'm going to just use green nail tape is all I'm going to use. Nail tape's really inexpensive. You can get it on Amazon. This would look really cool for a New Year's manicure, by the way, in case you don't have these supplies easily accessible right before Christmas. Know that this would be really cool if you switched out the colors, did a darker background and maybe like some silver and gold dots and nail tape instead, to make a really, really fun New Year's manicure, or like any other time of the year. This isn't necessarily Christmas specific, but I'm doing it to make Christmas nails. So let's actually get started now. First things first, I'm going to layer my Scott Topic. Alright guys, I got these on. So I will mention something that I didn't do that would have been really, really smart is I probably should have, instead of putting them on my nails, used a sticky note, put the design on the sticky note, and did my design work there first. So if you're not really good at doing design work on your nails, just know that you can attach it to a sticky note. Like, just take the nail strip itself like this, stick it on the sticky note, and then do your design work there rather than doing it on your fingernails. So probably what I should have done. Anyway, what's next? Okay, so I'm using Beijing Beauty, which is the brighter red, and I'm going to layer it over the Swiss and Tell. That way we can get a bunch of little dots without the green being the base, because if we put Beijing Beauty over the green, it's going to be really dark, and we want it to pop a little more. So I'm going to layer it over the Swiss and Tell. Okay, so I've got both my Oslo and Steady and my Beijing Beauty layered, and I don't know if you can tell, but they pop a little bit more than they did whenever I had them off the backing. So now I'm going to make a couple of circle punches. I'm just going to punch one for now. I'm going to try the 1/8 and see what that looks like, and I might go to the 3/16 if I need something bigger, but I think this size is going to be best. So let me try out. I used the 1/8. I think 3/16 is a normal size hole punch, which would be fine. You just might want to layer them a little bit more on the edges rather than in the center. So I'm going to punch a couple of each color. Okay, so I have several of each color. I probably won't need anything more than these. I did use the largest size thumbnail since I don't really use those unless I'm doing my toes. So I've got all these tiny little pieces here. So you are going to use your cuticle stick, an orange stick, because it makes it a lot easier to get the backing off. And sometimes the backing will just fall right off of these. So you can get a pair of tweezers if you want to grab it, if you're not very good at grabbing them. But if you look, I'm just kind of putting my cuticle stick like right between the white and the nail strip itself. See how that peeled off really easy? And I'm kind of just sticking it to that to pull off the backing. All right, so then I've got it stuck here, and I'm just going to throw it on there. So if you're on the edge, go ahead and make sure you fold it over like that. That way it kind of stays in place and you can file it later. Just kind of leave it like that. So I'm just going to kind of add a bunch of dots to it, and that's where we're starting at. So it doesn't matter if there's two reds next to each other, if you want to use different colors. So like I mentioned, silver and gold or silver and white for a New Year's look, just add a bunch of dots all over the place. All right, so I've got my dots. Now this red one that you see hanging over, we're just gonna smooth it down. We're not gonna worry about getting that excess off until later because you're gonna wanna let this cure a little bit, not completely cure. So we're not waiting like 20, 30 minutes. We're waiting about 5, maybe 10 at most. And then we'll get that excess off using our cuticle stick like so, but we're not really gonna mess with it right this second. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna need is your nail tape, or if you want, you can cut really, really thin strips. I'm talking really, really thin strips of Color Street if you don't have nail tape, which honestly the Color Street is a little bit easier to work with, but like as far as getting excess off, but this is a little easier to access, especially since we're looking for green right now, which is not a color that there's a lot of shades in unless it's either holiday season or St. Patty's Day a lot of times too. So you're also going to want a pair of like cuticle scissors or really, really thin scissors. So, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that here in a second. I've got my nail tape here, and nail tape, a little fickle. If you're using nail tape, you are 100% going to want to use clear as day to seal it in because it doesn't really like to stay. The original purpose of nail tape was really for wet polish. You put this on, you paint over it, and you take it back off. But people have since been using it as like design work. So it's not the best at staying on your fingers. So next, what we're going to do, and this can be done with like silver tinsel, bright red, whatever you want. Just the original person used green, so I'm going to use green. Okay, so you're going to drape it over like this if you've never used nail tape. So I'm kind of going to go back and forth like so. So I've got that. I'm going to go ahead and smooth it down. And then I'm going to take my cuticle scissors, stick into all my dots. Let's move the dots out of the way. All right, so your nail tape will stick to your dots. Don't put your dots where your nail tape is. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cuticle scissors. I'm going to go right against the nail like this. And I'm just going to clip it. And then I'm going to smooth it down, back down again. Take this off. All right, so I got that done. Next, I'm going to go again. I'm going to try to get it like that. Okay. Bring it over like so. And I haven't cleaned this one off, but I'm just going to go like where it would, my cuticle would be. I think I got it. Same thing. Okay. So I got it draped across. And then I'm going to drape it across a third time to make my final piece of tinsel. Okay. So now we're over here. I'm just going to go against my nail, and I'm going to kind of angle it towards the nail and clip. There you go. So now I've got a cute little Christmas tree. Now if you do, instead of using nail tape, you use Color Street, you can get a little bit thicker to where it shows up a little bit more. And my camera is a little dark. That is what it looks like to make a little Christmas tree mani or Starbucks cup. So it's probably been long enough, so I'm going to go ahead and get this excess off of this red piece here. that. And I'll go ahead and file the tip. All right, there we go. So I've got my little holiday manicure there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up the rest. It really wasn't that hard. It's just, this one's more about having the right tools and having a bit of patience. I think anybody can accomplish this, especially if you're using this as a precision tool rather than your actual fingers, but it turned out really cute. I'd love to see this for something like springtime or even New Year's. So I'm just gonna finish the rest of my nails real quick. Ta-da! Beautiful, beautiful Christmas tree nails with some ornaments and some nice little tinsel. Really cute. This turned out way better than the first time I attempted it, and that's just because I really didn't have the correct tools for it. Love, love, love. Again, I did use the 1/8 inch on this punch here. You can find singular 1/8 inch. I will put a link below to not only my big one there, but also just to a regular, just 1/8 inch. All right, guys, I am holiday ready. I have my peppermint manicure over here, which there's a video on how to do the peppermint swirl, and I have my Christmas trees over here. I know I'm a bit mismatchy, but that's what happens when you create videos, and I'm just gonna leave it because you know what, it's festive and I love it, and I can look at both hands and just think they're gorgeous. So anyway, there is the final results there. I hope you learned something. You know where all my links are. They're all below. You can hit the subscribe button over here. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. That really helps the channel just to, you know, uplift it a bit in the algorithm. And if you want to join any of my social media down below, I hope you learned something. And I hope you have a Merry Christmas. A Happy New Year. Whatever you celebrate. I hope that your holiday season is happy because we all need a little bit of happiness after this crazy year that is 2020.